Yes.
All right, at 6 o'clock, I'm going to call this board meeting for November 24th at 6 p.m. at 180 Maple Street to order. Please, I'd like to turn your cell phones on mute or vibrate or something so it won't ring during this. At this time, Mr. Harris is going to lead us in invocation. And all stand, please.
Now I think of Psalms 133, behold, it is good and pleasant when all come together in unity, so let us pray. Our gracious Heavenly Father, we come here tonight to do your work. Your work as the church. No matter what church we attend, whatever it says over the door, it's your church, Lord, and we're simple stewards of it. And tonight I ask you for guidance, for wisdom, that we come together in unity doing your work for the community and for the county. Lord, we ask this all in your Son's name. Amen. Amen.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. Roger Lawson. Here. Tim Rose.
Here.
Donna Ross.
Here.
Jimmy White.
Here.
Gabe Williams. Sandra Wood.
Here.
First item on there is approval and correction of minutes of prior meetings. I believe we have one correction to the board work session. What was it going to put on, change it, tell me if what, please? Exactly. I know it's on page 5.
Yeah, it's in that second paragraph. The minutes are stating that Mr. Whitehead stated that there was no indication of wrongdoing and that it appears a mention of the 3 paragraphs occurred at the state level during the revision process, and that he commended me for bringing these omitted paragraphs to his attention. But that's not what he said. He said that Mr. Whitehead, when he was asked by Alderman Lofton, he said that that's the way it appears to me. No reason to doubt it was at the state level. And I would like the minutes reflect what he said.
Call roll.
Chip Clark.
Yes.
Roger Lawson.
Yes.
Tim Rose.
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
Jimmy White.
Yes.
Gabe Williams.
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Comments from the mayor. I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. I appreciate all. It was kind of raining and bad outside. We try to keep the business as short as possible. I know it's kind of long tonight, but these first few meetings we have a lot to cover, so if y'all just bear with us, and we'll try to do our best to get through it as speedily as we can. Our next item is public comments. Does anybody have anything they want to wish to address the board on? Not having none, we'll move on to unfinished business. The first one is 7.1, discuss approved vision construction settlement. We're going to have to go into adjournment. We're going to have to meet with a lawyer, and he's going to tell us what's going on. We've been dealing with this about the last 3 board meetings, but he's gonna tell us where we are and what we need to do. And we'll be postponed for a short recess. right, we're gonna call this meeting back to order. John, would you come to the podium and please address the board?
Yes, Mayor, as you know, and the board, you all hired me to represent the city in some litigation filed by Visions Construction Company versus the city over the demolition of home at 324 Reed Street. The plaintiff, Visions Construction Company, is represented by Jason Holland, a lawyer in Nashville, and also by Shane Personal, a lawyer in Jackson. There were some issues raised about whether the proper procedure was followed in terms of demolishing the home. It was a home that didn't meet code, and there were a lot of factual issues in dispute. This was a type of case, though, that had it gone to trial, if the city lost, the city was going to obviously be responsible for paying attorney's fees to my firm, but would also pay attorney's fees to the other side, the opposing attorney. And I have negotiated with the other side and have reached a settlement that is conditioned upon your approval. It would be a payment of $40,000 to Visions Construction Company, plus payment of the court costs, which I don't have the exact number, we're talking about less than $500, $253. It's my recommendation that you pay this based upon my experience in cases of this type. To be frank with you, the primary driver is the litigation expense. I do think we have some problems with the case, and so I think that it would be wise for the city to resolve it now at this amount. And if you vote to do so, then I'll consummate the settlement. The other side has agreed in negotiating with them. They were aware that every offer made was conditioned on your approval. That there's no deal unless you vote for it. So that's my strong recommendation now.
All right, you heard him. Did I hear a motion to approve the deal?
Mayor, before we,
I'll make the motion. Second.
before we vote on this, where's the $40,000 come?
That I don't know, Donna. We'll have to work that out. But we'll have time because it's going to take a while to get this settled. But inevitably, it's going to have to either come out of the general fund or it's got to come out of Public Works. And I'm sure right now that Public Works has the funds. That's where it comes from. All right.
Roger Lawson.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
Jimmy White.
Yes.
Ed Williams.
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Chip Clark.
Yes.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Mayor, I'll report to you and get settlement consummated.
Okay.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much. Next item is 7.2, is discuss and approve the second reading of ordinance establishing a tax freeze program. Everybody's interested in what the number is. The number for this county or this city is $37,530. That's for the tax year of 2025. This will not go into effect until 2026, and that number will change. But we will approve this in the second reading on condition that they know that this number will be whatever the 2026 amount is changed by the comptroller. It will change. We've been told that. It'll probably go up about $400 or $500 is what they tell us. So just make you aware of that, and I'll come back to the board and ask for approval for that additional amount. Do I hear a recommendation?
Make a motion. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion?
Just have one question. I'm sorry. On section 4, it has in here that the mayor and Board of Aldermen are going to replace the comptroller of the Treasury to perform income verification or other related services. Who's going to qualify these people for this program?
What'll happen is, the way it's been explained to me, is they'll have to go to the tax assessor. They'll fill out the form. Same thing as when they have the tax relief program. They already have that program. This is follow the same guidelines and the same principles it does, but the property assessor will want to be able to issue the exemption or freeze on the tax. Call the roll.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
Jimmy
commission appointment, and Mr. Clark has said he would accept this position, so at this time I nominate him to be the commission. Okay, so it'll be a nomination of Chip Clark.
I'll make a motion that Alderman Clark be our planning commission appointment.
I'll second it.
Call roll.
Donna Ross,
Yes.
Judy White,
Yes.
Gabe Williams,
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Roger Lofton,
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Next, discuss approve order appointing zoning appeal expiring as Anthony Anderson. Andy expressed his desire not to be on the board anymore. He said if I could, if it was somebody, I've asked stepdaughter, so we know any misinformation, Sherry Lockhart to fill this position. She said she would, so I'll accept the nomination of her.
I make a motion, I do, motion, nominate. Second.
Call roll.
Judy White,
Yes.
Gabe Williams,
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Chip Clark,
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes,
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
All right, this is new business. Discuss approve application beer permit for town, and I can't pronounce all the names.
Sean Patel, then it's Mrs. Patel, and JD Patel.
All right. Operating Richmond, Aramco Mart LLC located on 634 East Church Street, with license shall permit off-premise consumption. Chief, everything checked out?
Yes, sir. Nothing to disqualify.
We good to go? Entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Have a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Gabe Williams,
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Chip Clark,
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross,
Yes.
Judy White.
Yes.
The next one, we've got to discuss, approve the first reading of an ordinance setting out the duties and responsibilities of the mayor. Does everybody have a copy of that? This was, when it's left out, we had the charter change. This was part that had been admitted. And what we've been recommended was to go ahead and change this ordinance right now until the charter gets changed. So if you've had a chance to read it, it spells out specifically what the mayor will do and what his duties are. And I will entertain a motion to approve at this time.
I make a motion.
I second.
Got a motion and a second. Call the roll.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Chip Clark.
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross,
Yes.
Judy White.
Yes.
Gabe Williams.
Yes.
8.3 is discuss approve resolution relative to charter amendment. Now, the charter was changed several ways, things, understanding, and I'm gonna, give me just a second here, the main reason that we changed it was so department heads could live outside the city, and that the mayor could also vote in case of a tie vote. That was the two main things that was supposed to be done. And we did, except there was some other verbiage got put in and some verbiage got left out. So what we're asking for is the approval to put the charter back like it was, with the exception of leaving those two things in where the mayor can vote in case of a tie and the department heads can live outside the city. That's what it is. Now, there's 2 or 3 other things that got left out, and in this packet, I don't think we have everything it is, but there's going to be 2 readings, and what I'd like to do, if it's approved on the first reading, we'll give it to you in the entirety for the second reading, so you can read it to prove it before we send it up. We've got to get it right this time, and I've had some questions about department heads and what the mayor does and everything. But we'd like to go back, take the old charter and put it together and do it. But this time I'd like to just go ahead and vote that we do this, and I'll bring it back. We're going to have a call meeting in December to do this so we can get it sent up. They asked for to have it up there in January, and they'd like to have it for our next regular monthly meeting. So I told them we would do this. But you will get the vote, I will send it out, and you'll get to look at it as an entirety of what we're fixing to send up before we vote in December.
Mayor, I make a motion that we pass this resolution on its first reading of this charter change, that the department head verbiage is reinstated, and that the additional paragraphs that were inserted under section 13, the last two paragraphs are omitted.
Got a motion? Do I have
I'll
a
second
second?
that motion.
So, back to our previous meeting, my understanding was the only recommendation was that we add back the new paragraph to the current charter that was omitted.
We're gonna add, there was,
Shouldn't be anything taken out.
no, right, no, nothing taken out, right, exactly right.
We're just gonna add a paragraph.
But now, Mayor, under section 13, that's where this office is what we looked at.
What he's going back to. When we asked him that day, that night, Jimmy asked, if I think right, about just going back, and he said, yes.
This is already in the old charter,
That's the new one.
and this will be coming out.
Adding these, but we're
No,
not.
we're deleting these because it's already in the old charter.
The power of the board to form a committee.
Yeah, you're gonna get a copy of it, but you're gonna get a copy of the old one. The deal is, this right here is in the old charter, it was took out. It's gonna go back in it, and this will be the new charter. We leave it.
I understand, but I just remember, he said verbatim, no, but we weren't taking out anything, we just added the paragraph back. So that was only, that's all the confirmation.
Well, this is doing it double, and after we reviewed it, this paragraph right here needs to come out because we stated over here and we restated right here. So this is already in it.
We get our department head verbiage taken out of the old charter.
In that department head verbiage, it allowed us to combine departments.
Yeah, that's still in there.
But that's still gonna be in there.
Still in there, yes,
Not
sir.
taking that out.
No, it's not done now. It's still in.
It was in that original charter as
It's in
well.
the original charter.
C9 of the original charter before it was changed.
Yeah, you have the authority to do that.
Okay.
Any more questions?
You got a second?
Got a motion to second?
Second. I make a second.
Call the roll.
Chip Clark.
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
Jimmy White.
Yes.
Gabe Williams.
Yes.
Sandra Woods.
Yes.
All right. Next item is 8.4, discuss and approve building vacancy in the finance department. All right, Cody's gonna come to the podium.
Back at the, I believe, end of December, Missy Reeves will be retiring and drawing out her time. So I'm asking to fill vacancies in the finance department, and that will mean fill the vacancy while still paying out 6 months worth of accrued leave.
Where's that money gonna come from?
Fund balance.
Savings.
I'm hoping there's enough savings from the unfilled positions in other departments. What that dollar figure is, whether you're gonna have that before me. We've had several employees, either off of our comp or unfilled vacancies. If that's the case, that will not affect fund balance.
Is there not anybody else in some of these other departments that we could look at moving into that position instead of hiring someone else, do a lateral move? We've obviously got,
You're still adding to the budget. Unless
we're
you're
taking it from one department, and moving it to the other.
You're still paying from the other department.
No, sir. Savings in that department. I understand what you're saying, it's gonna increase your line item for that, for your department,
Yeah.
for general fund. I understand what you're saying, but how much, we don't know how much this position pays.
So if we fill internally, you shouldn't be left with a position period. The one sole position in City Hall, annual salary is $46,000, so half a year is $23,000.
close do you think you're gonna be on the savings in the other general fund departments because of openings that they have had all year long?
I feel confident in saying that at least the 26,000 will be covered.
The 6 months out of the 9?
Yes.
And we're going to pay her for how many months?
6 months into the current fiscal year.
And what about the next one? How many months does she have? 9?
3 months, other 9 months probably.
So it's not only this year, it's next year's budget's going to be impacted by it too, right? Is this an essential employee? Is this somebody that you can do without, or is this an essential person?
Absolutely.
He's got 3 that work in that area, yes.
Yes, and tax time starting, well, now, but heavy season starting next month, very quickly.
And if you have one out, and you don't fill that position, and you have one person out, and you're gonna have one person left in there trying to do all of that, they can't do all of it. I don't care if it's just one day, it's still hard for them to do it.
And it's bare minimum to maintain the segregation of business also.
And not to mention, it will take several months to get somebody trained and
That-
capable.
That was my next question, Gabe. So is there anyone in one of the other departments that's ever worked in your department before?
If they'd be willing to, retire, yes.
Or do we need to explore that option before we decide whether to go ahead? You first put it out for internal anyway, correct?
Yes.
So somebody very well could, even in the same budget, apply,
Yes.
which would make the openings in some other area.
Correct.
And then we're gonna have a call meeting.
Right now, I'm going to ask the board to be the December the 2nd or 3rd, whichever one will be. If y'all check your calendar right now, it'd be nice to know which day we can do that. We'd like to do it at 1 p.m. during the day because it's only just a couple of items on it, and it's just a simple vote, so we'd like to do it that day.
I guess my question would be, could we just discuss the options with whomever has worked there, if you feel like I could come in and do it, and see if we work that out, and if we don't, then decide December the 2nd, 3rd, or whatever it is.
Is that a motion?
When we do, I'm just asking if that's gonna put you, that's a week, basically a little over a week.
Well, the thing is, if you can get somebody to come in that's already done it, that's gonna help your training time anyway. With tax time now, you said it was now.
Always prefer internal or external.
In December, that tax office is going to get very, very busy because people are trying to get those taxes paid by 12/31 so they can take that tax write-off on when they file their taxes. Some stagger in January and February. February gets crazy when they pay their taxes. But December is going to be crazy too. Is that not a trend?
I make a motion, we look into trying to get it done internally and visit again at the next call meeting.
I'll second that motion.
Any more discussion?
Yeah, we're gonna have this happening, more and more and more, and if it's essential employee, we're gonna have to do it, And I understand, but, that's just part of the job.
Got a vote in a second, call the roll.
Can you give me,
Excuse me.
could you restate that motion, John?
It's,
Try to do it internally, and we can revisit it at that special call meeting if we need to.
All right, call the roll, please.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
Jimmy White.
Yes.
Gabe Williams.
Yes.
Sandra Woods. Chet Clark.
yes.
8.5, discussing hiring process and policy verification. Does everybody understand what that is? It's dealing with legacy costs. In other words, just what we're dealing with right here, that we wouldn't fill a position permanently unless we had somebody that their payment had run out and what we'd owe them. That's what we're dealing with just right here. Does everybody understand what that policy is? I think we got a copy of that. Just a minute, I'll get to it. We didn't put a copy in there, did we?
Start from page
30? Get too far, sorry about that. Page 30. Okay. That employment practices, job posting application, seasonal employment. This is the policy we have. And we
What are we changing? What's happening?
we're not really changing. What we're doing is we're readdressing it.
This is the policy we want to adhere to.
This is what it is, or do we want to amend this policy to state that we deal with legacy, this hiring policy, we don't hire anybody without that being addressed.
Section 4.203 specifically.
That kind of is superseding what we did last meeting in, giving our department heads, the ability to hire.
All we give them though is if they internal move.
Right, but this says that when a vacancy exists. Doesn't say this, it just says if a vacancy exists. Meaning I talked to that, say this whole hiring process should be put on freeze.
Well, I think it's what we're asking here, that we won't do that. That we don't, not want to hire anybody permanently until that position has expired for legacy costs. That's what we're asking. That's what this policy is about. This is the policy as it is right now, so we'd have to amend this. That's what we're doing.
I definitely think we need to not hire anyone until all of the legacy cost is spent. We don't need to double pay for one position.
Or you say hire that person for that position, is that right?
I'm saying, yeah, we don't need to double pay for one position, in my opinion. If we owe somebody money, and we gotta freeze that whole, if we transfer somebody into it that's already working here, that's one thing. But we don't need to we don't need to add another salary till that's paid off, in my opinion.
Just like your human resource director. When your human resource director leaves, that's a legacy employee, and you can't go without a human resource director.
We have to internally move someone there.
If you can find somebody qualified to do it. The human resource director is going to require somebody that has education and understands what they're doing. It's vital to the city. Now, I'm not saying we can't do that, but we'll have to deal with that when it comes up. So when you make this policy, you have to deal with it when that does come up. So we want to leave it as is and the board rule on each case individually, or do we want to put something in policy? As is.
If we leave it as is, that does not affect them being able to, if they have someone leave their department for another department internally in the city, they can still fill that hole, correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Leave it as is, or we want to change?
What I'm hearing Chip say is internal movement of employees. What about the hiring of new employees?
They gotta come ask us, is what it's saying. If I read this properly, they gotta go to Cody anyway. You might keep that if you want it. Instead of going to Cody, they come to us.
The only way it can be deemed, for the board to approve it, y'all vote to deem it critical, otherwise they can't do it.
The vacancy, that means there's money in the budget to cover that position as long as there's no legacy expense. So that's, I mean, we're not in the business of hiring every individual employee. So we give our department heads the ability to manage their department and run our city properly. Obviously, they typically, from my experience, the board have always told us when they have to fill a position, which I do appreciate, but frankly, if we don't leave them in position, we go with it for 6 months and not have it, that's kind of hard to justify why we need it.
Definitely.
I would agree with that, Mr. Williams.
The motion then, we leave it as is.
I'll make that motion.
Tim Rhodes,
Yes.
Donna Ross,
Yes.
Jimmy White,
Yes.
Gabe Williams,
Yes.
Sandra Wood,
This is leaving the policy as it is, I'm sorry.
As is.
Yes.
Yes.
Robert Long.
Yes.
Discuss and approve the first reading of ordinance adopted purchasing policy.
It starts on page 34. There's mainly some housekeeping items, it's been of our existing purchasing policy that was the one adopted by resolution and amended by ordinance, so procedurally, not good methodology. Clean up some of the definitions. And clean up some of the procedures for procuring goods that are below the bid threshold. Also authorizing the use of purchase cards or P cards, that's under section 9, instead of any use of credit cards.
I got a couple questions. One of them skipped over already. On section 4, page 36, it says unforeseen minor purchases. What is the definition of minor? Because we could have two different thought processes there. Section 4, and that's just one A. It's in the last sentence, basically.
I guess, one thing, you know what you said, if I make a good example,
I understand, I mean, there's a difference. My thing is, that do the people that's gonna go purchase this know what you think minor is or what we think minor is?
I'm supposed to purchase them without purchase order.
I know what this says,
It's supposed to be something very, very unforeseen, and there's very few things pop up, because they don't know ahead of time that they're going to.
I understand. I read over this and I underlined it, the question, because everything, it just says unforeseen minor purchases that require immediate acquisition are exempt from the written approval of the city recorder. I
used to, it said the city recorder and the general manager of utilities was our purchasing agent. The general manager of utilities has been deleted from this,
We're required to have a purchase agent
not multiple purchase agents.
in order to meet the, increased bid thresholds that we're currently operating on.
I see.
Without that, we'd have to lower the bid threshold.
There was
We've talked about these purchasing cars before, and one time they didn't have a limit on them.
The limit's 2,500.
It's in here.
You can set it, can you not set that at anything you want to?
Yes, so if the board does not like the $2,500 limit, you know, I'll just whatever you want to.
I work with these every day, the state has these, so you can pick and choose which employee has them. You can pick, how much of a minimum that they can spend per day, per month. You know, you can do it any way that you want to. I don't know how it's gonna work with the city, but you can even run queries and find out who has spent what, where, what day, and all that. Is that how that's gonna work?
It's a lot more involved than credit card.
It definitely needs to be.
Well, we work with Dave Cherry at First Bank on, we talked about this several years ago. It saves time.
Let me ask you this, Cody, would this do away with a need for a purchase order? I mean, would they not, they wouldn't call City Hall and say, I need a purchase
You
order?
would still be required a bank purchase order.
Okay, all right.
The biggest benefit I see is being tried. Your hotel is taking checks. We've got just a handful of credit cards within the city. You've got individuals who are traveling who are not the card holders, and sometimes that's the issue. Other times, employees have been reimbursed. So I have in front of the costs and we get reimbursed later.
There's no problem with the hotels taking.
We've taken the purchase cards.
Yeah.
I'm told no, we've not used these.
It won't be a problem. And also, you can fix it whether they can buy, purchase food or not purchase food. Like, for my guys, they can go to Walmart and they can buy all the water or Gatorade that they may need for fighting fire, but they can't go to the grocery store. They can't go to Food Giant and buy it and use their purchase card, you know. Who will they turn this stuff into? Kathy?
It'll be by the department, and the department heads will lay out who can use them and for what.
And we have a clear audit trail in place for that, internal audit trust for how we're going on this.
This is going to be a lot easier to audit than.
Okay.
Because they will attach, if it works how ours is, once that purchase is made, whoever will reconcile that particular purchase, and they will attach that invoice to, so not to take that away from you. But it will attach it, and then, you would need somebody like Cody or whoever you selected to actually do the approving of it. You know, Kathy could, whoever would reconcile it, but then Cody or Mayor or whoever would go in there and do the final approval on that.
I can't remember the name of the codes, but each product or service
Yeah.
has some type of unique code.
It works so, I'm telling you, it works so much better. It needed to happen a long
Say you're
time.
traveling to Murfreesboro for training, you can either set it for travel related, and that sounds pretty broad, or just for lodging, in hotel. Or you can say, okay, the Hampton Inn at this location, only on this day.
Right. I see. And what happens if somebody overspends on it? What's our process there?
Go through.
Oh, they will stop it.
It's got
like-
a limit, you
I
got
got
to
you.
run.
Okay.
And if they attempt to purchase something outside of whatever code is assigned, it
Right.
won't allow.
It won't let them.
Well, let's say they're off somewhere and there's no city vehicle that breaks down and you get repaired. Somebody can go in and, yes.
Only question I had in here, was on this waiver of this competitive bidding process. This is under section 5J. It appears that, this is talking about co-ops between municipal governments for working with other municipalities to purchase something, is that?
Number 6.
I'm sorry?
Number 6 instead of 5.
No, number 5, sealed bid requirements, am I missing it?
No, you're under the correct letter, but number 5 is prisons.
Which
Number
number?
six
It's number
is
6.
federal government. Page 38.
38, section J,
Yes.
waiver of competitive bidding process.
Paragraph 6.
Number 6, yes.
Are we already doing that with somebody? Are we doing this?
Yes, we are. We are a part of, like, 4 purchasing co-ops, National Joint Powers Alliance, what is it, HCA Live?
Computer equipment, servers,
No, we bought our stuff before. HVAC Live.
But it's just municipalities, kind of like us belonging to the same club, is that what you're telling me?
Yes.
We get the better buy? Okay. I'm good with better buy.
Well, we voted on this about 2 years ago, I believe, to do that. We joined a club. So,
And each time that we join a new one, it's brought before this board.
so do you want to change the limits on P cards, leave them as is? What are we going to do on this? Any recommendations?
How many P cards?
I mean, like, how many cards you don't have in that, or you know?
Well, you've got physical cards, but you can also do virtual cards, so you have like an Apple phone. So, let's say an employee travels for the training one time,
You can
and,
set them up for that.
but they don't normally need to purchase, they have a one-time purchase.
I know the state,
I deal with the states, and
but
they're,
then the issues, because they're,
everybody has one now, only in their group is the sergeants, but it'll be like a foreman.
and I guess here, they're the one that have it.
They gotta come in fast.
I'm not saying,
I'm not saying for traveling, I'm going for daily use.
If that's something the board wants to set, I mean,
Well, yeah, I think your department heads need to decide who all in their department needs one. We don't need to decide, they need to
Yes.
decide how many, and who sets that limit? I mean, you have to get someone else above you to turn that card to change that limit, right? You will be the one, you do that, you would?
Yeah, because right now Cody has one card for each department head until we figure out where y'all want to go from moving forward. Then I believe he's gonna work with the department heads to decide if like maybe their supervisor needs a card. But yes, Cody and I will be the NP vote person that will review everything. So basically, as you know, because you and I spoke about it, what would happen is, let's say that Casey is sending somebody to training. He would let us know what the estimate cost would be. We will set those limits on the card. And then either he would give them the department card, or he would ask us to get their individual card. And then we will set that limit on the system. When those cards are used, it would go to Casey to authorize, and then after he authorized, it will approve us to release the funds for the purchase.
Do we have a travel stipend, a limit? Are we following state guidelines on our travel? How's that being handled?
Yeah, there is a policy for travel. I'm not sure what all of it entails, what's out there currently.
Well, I ask you, will they be taking a training course on that, on how to use this? I mean,
Yes, and Melissa will be doing the utility side. I will be
there's
doing the general
there's
fund
a
side.
course that you take pretty much online, you do it in an hour. You know,
Yes.
you go over your do's and your don'ts.
Yeah, it'll be a learning process for all of us, but
They
there will
carry
be
change
change.
video.
Yes, they have some videos for us, online for any of their stadium.
I think it's a good idea. We have always said, or I have my guys say $2,000 a month, but, I mean, they're out and gone a lot, you know. And just because they have 2,000, they don't use it, but I mean, if something were to happen, you know, or you can limit it to $100 a day, I mean, whatever. Let's just put it this way, you can't abuse it and get away with it, and I'll leave it at that.
It's a lot more work, but it is a lot more lockdown.
Yeah.
Well, the question before the board is, do we approve it or not?
I make a motion that we approve the adoption purchasing practices.
And a motion and a second. Please call the roll.
Donna Ross,
Yes.
Jimmy White,
Yes.
Dave Williams,
Yes.
Sandra Woods,
Yes.
Chip Clark,
Yes.
Roger Lofton,
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
All right, the next item is discuss and approve vehicle use policy GPS tracking. Now, who wants to address that? Does the board want to address it? I know it was requested to be put on. Do y'all have anybody specific I'd like to talk to about this?
I would like for us to get a cost to add the GPS to the remainder of our department vehicles, being a public work and electric system.
So what we're saying is you would like a cost to implement this?
Yes.
So you make that as a motion?
Yes.
Do I have a second?
I have a question.
Question?
The clarification on what vehicles, all of everything that goes down the highway,
Yes, sir.
tractors.
I would say so, because the tractor's liable to sure enough get accused of running somebody off the road and causing a wreck.
I want us to talk about how many of these vehicles are being driven home.
Oh, I did too, but I thought we'd been first.
As long as that item stays open.
So we'll leave it open.
It says use policy and GPS tracking.
I'm sorry.
It is both UPS and UPS. All right. We got a motion and a second.
Is this on GPS?
Yeah.
This is for an estimate.
This is estimate only is what this is. Estimate only. Please call the roll.
Jimmy White,
Yes.
Dave Williams, Sandra Woods,
Yes.
Chip Clark,
Yes.
Roger Lofton,
Yes.
Tim Rhodes,
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
All right, now we're going to discuss vehicle use policy. Donna, you wish to have questions?
Well, Cody had sent a list to me Friday afternoon, that list of vehicles that we have, and, it's a lot of vehicles. And, in our work session, we went over, how many vehicles were being driven home. The people see this as a waste. This was brought up to me probably more than, I can't begin to tell you how many times over the summer people brought this up to me. And I think that we're here to represent them, that we need to be addressing our vehicle use and how many vehicles we take home. Years ago, we had, our emergency crews, and we might have had a supervisor, maybe at each end of the county, so that if something happened, we had, you know, they didn't have to drive all the way in. Our utilities, our electric system, they cover more than the city of Lexington. But, our public works department, our police department, I spoke with, Captain Middleton and Chief Middleton, sorry. And, I don't believe any of our city police vehicles, police officers that live in the county, we don't have police cars driving out of our city. Is that correct?
We have officers in the county to drive.
That do drive them home
In the county, yes. None out of the county.
in the county? Because our policy says they can be hired and live in the county.
They don't even have to live in the county, they can live outside of the county.
Well, this whole last election was based on two things, it seemed like to me. I wasn't running it. Everything that I heard was about vehicles going home and constant rate increases and the raises. That's what this whole last election was about. And that's what the people voted on, so I'm thinking that's what this board needs to be acting on.
I agree.
I definitely think the only cars, I said over and over, if they're on call, and possibly the men, I don't know the word, but I know if we got two guys on call, they got two people, if they get hurt, they're on call to come work. So however many they have for their backup, that's the people that need to be driving home at night.
Problem is that everybody that's a manager, a superintendent, a supervisor is on call 24 hours a day. So everybody's driving their vehicles home, whether they're going out or not. And when we ask for on-call logs during that work session, I ran numbers on this, and it's like 200 and, let's look here. You've got a vehicle that's being driven 7 miles one way, in and out, each day. It's coming into work, it's going back on 7 miles. That's 14 miles a day, 250 days a year. That's 3,500 miles annually. Well, that don't sound like a lot. But when you take the fleet size that we have times 3,500, that's a lot. And it's not just wear and tear on the vehicle. It's the tires, it's the belts, it's the batteries, it's the oil tanks. Our department heads need to be running these departments like these vehicles belong to them. It was their business and it was their money that they were spending. We won't have as many vehicles on the road. That's just my opinion.
Are these assigned vehicles? Does everybody have a truck that's taking one home? Is it assigned to him or her? Not a different one every day, is it? Any department, I don't care. In other words, he's got the key to that, that's the one he's gonna drive home every night, right? Okay. All right, now, also, once you do that, and you're only charging them how much on their pay, what is it coded, $1.50? It's a state code or something? I know. But, it's a benefit to the person, I'm gonna tell you that right now. It's a benefit to them to have a vehicle to drive home. It's more than $1.50 a day or whatever it is. So, a day. That's not even worth writing it up for. But what I'm saying is, if that's the way everybody does it, but, I mean, if they have a vehicle they drive home every night, that vehicle is worth more to them than $1.50 a day, I would think. So there's other ways you can do it. They need to get a 1099 at the end of the year for whatever vehicle they're driving, or something like that. I mean, it goes up against their taxes, is what I'm saying. You don't have to.
It's $1.50 each place, I think $3, $3 a day.
What if it's 2 miles, what's 35 miles, is what I'm saying.
It's free or something.
Same thing, right, that's what I meant.
It's including the taxes.
Right. $1.50 a day is what I'm saying. $3 a day.
It's not just the additional benefit to the employee. I know our employees are doing the best they can and they're working. It's the cost expense of the vehicle acquisition, maintenance, gas. We're $500,000 over in this current operating budget. And it's not a lot of money, I agree. When you look at the big picture of our total budget, but every penny counts, every single one. And I
So do we need a rotating list every month of who's on call, or?
I think our department heads can do that. I don't think we have to approve that. I mean, we're hiring them to run their departments, but, just because we've got manager or superintendent or assistant manager by our name, doesn't entitle us to a brand new car to drive home every day.
You look at the big picture, how many miles did you tell over the year?
7-mile commute in and out with 280 days, that's excluding holidays and weekends. That's 3,500 miles per vehicle per year.
Roughly, yes, how many cars we got on the road, code, not counting the department? You got it, you have it.
No, I don't, it's in my work session stuff, and I didn't bring my work session stuff.
If it's
This
20
vehicle list right here is,
If it's 20, it's over half the life of one of the vehicles.
that's right, that's right. 18 vehicles, I think, 65,000 miles, or something like that, average.
You got a motor code, we're thinking 100,000 on one, is that right? I know that's not necessarily mean, but some of them will be more than that, but still.
Chief Benjamin, what is the deal with the evidence clerk taking a vehicle home?
Right, I'm glad you asked. That is one of her job responsibilities is evidence custodian. We're handling anywhere between 2,700 to 3,000 pieces of physical evidence at a time. If our evidence, if we have a locker system in the back, and the physical evidence gets locked up, there's so many holes to put evidence, okay? There are times when those lockers get full, and it's never at noon, right? It's at 2 o'clock in the morning. She's gonna have to come up, get out of bed, come up here and remove that stuff out of the evidence locker and bring it back up so we can continue to take evidence. It happens pretty.
So she essentially is your on-call person.
And she is my on-call person to handle that evidence, and she's also my communication supervisor. So if we have a bad storm, if I have somebody gets sick in dispatch, she's the person coming up there filling that vacancy, or coming up there and supplementing. She lives in the city. She lives right in the state.
Is there anybody not driving the car in the police department?
Oh, yes, she's the only civilian person that is driving the boat. She's the only one. None of the other civilian employees are employees. The rest of them are sworn law enforcement.
How often does she have to come on after hours to clean out the evidence lockers?
It varies. I mean, as soon as I tell you it's twice a week, she'll go and run up and then she'll get slammed. It's more frequent that she has to come up there and cover dispatch in the middle of the night when we've had some event go on.
Is she a salaried employee, or is she an hourly employee?
She's now. She's also a court clerk as well. We talk about multitasking. That employee is handling court after hours, or she's doing everything else. But that never doesn't turn into overtime. We do whitewashing during the
Right.
It's simply with that 80-hour pay period and stuff that we do. But yes, she's essentially the person who goes in and handles the after hours. And that kind of thing can fall into her lap any hour.
I think we need to look at this a little bit more in depth than just try to make a decision on it tonight and get with the department heads and sit down and talk to them. There's really nothing we can do without looking at it more. It's not going to go away until we make it go away, but we need to look at it more.
Do we want to have a work session where we work it out, or we want them to give you a written or a policy they think they can live by and what they can do, or what kind of, y'all want to do going forward? What would y'all like to see?
I would like them, between now and our special call session in December, to give us a list of key personnel that are driving the vehicles home or emergency response on. Who they feel like has to have them taken home to keep our people with good response time and to keep them safe. MTAS response time, I think, is 15 to 20 minutes for a non-life threatening
There's 4 linemen on call, and they're on a weekly on-call rotation. 2 linemen take care of the eastern half of the territory, and 2 linemen take care of the western half. And they're on a weekly rotation.
So everybody, it's not the same people on call with the vehicle all the time.
Right,
Really
yes.
is.
And you may get a young guy that, wants to get after it, he may work 2 weeks in a row or something, but it's a shifting rotation, yeah.
In my opinion, if your first stop, if you get the call is the office, then there's no sense in getting in the car.
Well, and all of our offices are centrally located right here inside the city. So you might be talking, you're not talking about very much delay in response time at all. So could we do that, Mayor? Could we ask them to get us a list together to present to us at the special call session?
We could. Y'all can provide us a list at the next call meeting, who y'all recommend or what y'all deem necessary, so we can look at it. We'll do that next call meeting. All right? Is that all we have for that policy? Anybody else on the board have anything they'd like to say?
I got one question, and it's because it's been brought up to me. I don't know what your policy is in now for each department today, but your personal vehicle, I was gonna borrow it. I don't smoke, but let's say I did, and I was gonna ride down the road in your personal vehicle smoking, and on the cell phone, which is against the law, would you be okay with it? And if not, why are you okay with it? Because the people that are fussing, that's their vehicle. They own it, and they're seeing it. And since it was mentioned, I actually saw it, swerved over in front of me, was on the phone, smoking a cigarette in a city election truck. I don't know what your policy states as far as how they could do in your vehicle, but it also ain't fair if they got somebody with them, which for some reason we got 4-wheel truck with 1 person in all of them. But if they happen to have somebody with them, they shouldn't be smoking on top of that person if they don't really need it. That's my opinion. I'd actually like to see what y'all got to say about that too. Write that in there. Add that to the.
I thought there's a no smoking policy in any vehicle.
I'm asking.
What about you, Brad? Can be smoking in LES vehicles?
I'm not aware of a policy that says you can't smoke anything.
Okay.
We may have 1 or 2 people that smoke in our entire company, but I don't know. We don't have a policy that says you can't smoke in the vehicle, I don't think.
And following along on what Chip said, I've also seen with my own eyes a truck with a child in it being taken home out of the city limits because I followed them for 10 miles more than once.
All right. We'll get it on. Y'all give us a list and provide it. If we need to, we'll invoke a no smoking policy in all city vehicles if it's deemed necessary. And we'll have a call meeting on the 2nd or 3rd, whatever one side, we'll have our list to present to the board. Anything else?
So the first bid approval I had was, PDA reached out several months ago about a project for the, Beach Lake Dam Spillway. And we have our 16-inch water main, which is on that side of the road where it's looking at improvements. And they requested we look into moving that. This is a fully funded PDA project, no cost to us. We're just the middlemen that have to go through the bid process. There was 3 bidders. And Fisher Contracting Company was the winning bidder at $432,245.60. Again, this is fully funded, even any cost we incur internally, TDA covers.
TDA good with this bid?
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to ask one question, not particularly about that. TLM, why do do they get the recommendations? And then send them to you?
Yes,
I'm sure we pay them something.
yes. But in this case, again, PDA is.
Right, yeah, I'm just wondering how come TLM's always in the middleman here.
Any engineering firms for water management, when we flip over, the next one's water management, that's the engineering firm we have. And yes, they have to go through the process through them, and then we do pay them for that service.
Tim? I think I found out about,
You have to have qualified people to be able to do the grid, unless you have contract to do that, which you do get. I'm kind of, seeing what you do, but in the way they've got these things rolled up, we're kind of forced to do it. It's not what we want to do, but the way they look at it is we don't have the engineering staff or the expertise required, is what they tell us. So we got legislation that we have to do. That's just what they tell us. All right, we got a motion, we got a second. Call the roll.
Gabe Williams.
Yes.
Sandra Wood. Yes. Chip Clark.
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross. Yes. Jimmy White.
yes,
So the second bid, the filter plant was built in 1967, or put in service in 1967. The original bottoms were filtered 1, 2, and 3. We had patched them, the last time we patched them was in 2018, and they're showing failure again. So we looked at this, and we've been talking about this for several years, and looking at doing a replacement. We have competitive bids, Queen Construction won this bid with a base bid alternate of $412,000. And the add alternate 1 and 2, one is for another surface wash system, which is what cleans the filter media as you backwash, and the other one is adding the third additional filter. Right now, I'm only expecting to do the base bid and add alternative 1. And in the future, looking at doing the third filter. So 1 and 3 are currently the ones that are showing media.
7 years about the life of one?
No, that's what we've been patching it. So these tiles, these floor supports, like I said, they're 1967, and they don't make them anymore. You can't go in and replace pieces and grout it, and that's what we've done back to back, is go in and try to grout between these. But if the structure itself is not sound, we're just band-aiding. This one is paid for. This is already in the bond issue for when we go to meter exchange. This was already, so this will be more increased correct.
I know you're right on the date, because I've got pictures of my daddy on a bulldozer, in 66, building that thing out there. Really interesting. I'll make a motion, we approve.
okay. All roll.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Chip Clark.
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Tim Rhodes.
Yes.
Donna Ross.
Yes.
Jimmy White.
Yes.
Gabe Williams.
Yes.
810, you want to discuss the gas adjustment?
Yes, so this gas adjustment was already to be put in place for July of next year. What we're requesting is to move that up to current.
Just to give you some history on this, I'm going to be above board so everybody understands. We just ended fiscal year 24-25, and we're a little over $300,000 short in the gas. And what we had a rate study done back 2 years ago. The board had already voted to implement for a rate change, and also for what he's asking right now to implement come July the 1st of 2026. What it is, with that much money that we're being short and coming up the coming year, what we'd like to do, what we're trying to do is implement $3.30 for every meter that anybody owns. And what that does is it It's just basically what it does, it provide a meter at your house, so you have it on site. It raises to $10 is what it does. So you're paying $10 to have that meter. What we've done is we went from 225 gas meters to 450. We're having larger gas meters. We're having incurring more expense. And quite frankly, we're behind on the gas. There's been money took out of the gas department for various buys that should have never been come out there. We've done it. This board approved it over the years and has always done it. Right now, we're in a hole, and we'll have to. We've been behind for 2 years consecutive. We're going to get a letter from the state, and they're going to be asking us to address what we're going to do. The reason I wanted to put this on the agenda and learning what the audit said, that we had a shortfall, I will not want to come up next year. We're going to have one this year, and what we'd like to do is have we're probably not going to have as big a shortfall in the 25 to 26 season, but we'd like to have some of this money go back in. It's only going to generate about $220,000, but what it will help us in the 26, 27 budget, that we'll get the gas back on a positive street where we're not losing money and we're currently in the black. We'd like to build a little money to reserve, so when we have gas shortages, or as we'd say, gas sales fall off, in a year we'd have some money to cover it. We've depleted our reserves to do this. Pressure to the board to understand why we're doing it. And I made a promise when I come in the office, and anything I see and we need to correct, we don't need to wait a year. We're going to make some, especially with the department head, what we're going to do is we're going to make some cost-cutting effort. Jobs, we're going to do that so we come to the new budget year, we're not out of budget, make it balanced. The board of that. So, that's the reason we're discussing this. I'd like everybody to understand what the meaning of it is, and we're asking a motion to approve this. Thank you.
Just what's your cost of service right now per service?
I'll have to look in the paperwork, but I see y'all.
I know, but it's over $11 or something, right? I think it's 11 something now, 11, something like that. And your rate right now is what?
670.
So you're in the hole from the get-go.
Yes, sir. Again, that's why we've done the cost of service study. As you look at this from, talk some more about the tap fees, when you start off in the hole, it's evident in the cost of service.
And this is already passed, and in effect, when you go out first, no matter what.
Yes, for June billing, yes.
2026.
Next year.
Next year.
So the first step this year was to remove the 5 CCF that was built within that 670. So you were basically getting gas, $3 and depending on the market, $3.60 worth of gas within that 670. And that was the first steps made is removing that. And this 670 hasn't been adjusted in 20+ years.
So Justin, we went from, I know in the 90s, 440, I call it flat rate. That was the first 500 cubic feet of gas. I remember that 30-something years ago. So you went in what, in 2000, you went to 670 as a flat rate?
Somewhere in that.
So it's been 25 years that you haven't done any, that boards prior and up to now have left it at that.
Mr. Gordon mentioned Mayor Gordon, mentioned the meters, 425 meters in 2020. So 425 is the size of the meter. In 2020 to 2025, that's been a 39% increase in just that one item. I mean, that's everything.
And we've done nothing to compensate for that.
And we've increased our meter fees for the install. I'm real disappointed at how this has been. We had our conversation this afternoon. We took in $7.1 million in revenue in June 2025. Our operational expense, our debt service, our in lieu payments. We purchased $2.8 million worth of gas. So what we had left over, our expenses, we had $4,200,000 up 57.7 cents of every dollar you take it in is going to your personnel cost. You shouldn't be around 35%.
We just can't keep having these rate increases and asking the taxpayers to ante up. Again, it gets back to the same thing I said a few minutes ago, what this last election was about.
We spent $38,000 on a rate survey. This rate survey came in and said, we're gonna take your base units from 2,000 down to 1,000. And the board voted on it.
Water side.
Gas did it too.
I know that, but that was the 500.
The gas did it too, right. So we cut their base service amount in half. That's supposed to generate 410 grand. But we're 344 in the hole. So what we did in April, or what the previous board did in April, we just ate it up. My question is why did somebody, as a department head, as a city reporter, why did somebody raise the flag January, February, and said we're moving in the wrong way? That would have been the time. Now, we went all through summer, all through budget prep, all through election season. We've got a new board, the second board meeting, and y'all come to us wanting us to raise the meter fees on every person in this town, $3.30, and it's not even recovering loss.
Well, just, I don't know, should it?
When they presented the problem to me, I felt like it was an obligation to tell everybody what's involved and where we're headed to this. It's not to waste and go down more money or spend more money. And what I wanted to try to fix this gradually, make it come to a head so we can be back in a positive when we get to 25, 6 years. That finishes out this year.
That's what it sounded like.
No, what it sounds like is that we're spending more. That's why our department is continuing losing money.
Well, that's because board, not this board, not the board 1 year ago, but boards over years and years and years have not kept up with the rates in order to keep up with the spending. And then we get here to this and we try to fix it, and it looks like, well, we've got to do astronomical stuff. We tried to do this when we passed it, and we probably should have passed the whole package, but we didn't because we wanted to see if we couldn't get by. Well, turns out we didn't get by. But it's not because of the last 1 or 2 or even 10 years. When you sit here and can say, well, we ain't done this in 25 years, well, that's saying something. You haven't raised something in 25 years. Cost has gone up. Same way with anything else. If you go up, if you don't go up with your revenues, then you're not going to come out. Somewhere along the line, there's going to be a payday. And we're there. We're there, and we can close our eyes and go further in the hole, or we can fix it.
When are we going to look at the employees that we said we were going to look at? I thought at last meeting, I thought we were going to go over the employees' situation.
So what are we asking? I'm gonna go back to Donna. You had talked about the employees. I don't know if this is working or not, but I talk loud anyway. So do you have in mind cutting employees? Is that where you're leaning toward? And I was at the work session too, so I don't really know. I was sick.
We didn't talk about it in the work session.
So, but Donna, you had said something about employees. Are you talking about cutting employees?
Well, why were we going to bring it up? I didn't bring it up. Somebody else brought
I'm
it up.
talking to Donna.
It was on the agenda for the last meeting.
Donna, could you answer my question that you said a while ago? You said something about employees. Are you looking to cut employees or what?
I'm saying that our personnel cost is 2.5 million, which is 57.7% of our total budget. And we're in the hole, 344. If you look in your packet right now, if you count our capital outlay, as of end October, we're almost $1 million in the hole. Now, the gas department doesn't turn money till it starts selling gas. So
I realize that. I worked for utilities for 7 years, so I do realize that. My question is, I know the numbers, I see the number. Are you asking, are you going to be willing to cut employees? That's all I want to know. It's a yes or a no. It's black and white. Yes or no?
Well, we're gonna have to cut something because the
Okay.
taxpayers can't keep paying more.
You're exactly right. But I'm gonna say this, even back to the 90s, I've been here on the board for a while. You've been on the board in early 2000s, I believe. You know, we bring things to the board and we know things need to be done. And we look back, we try to help the ratepayers, we try to help the people with the taxes, with the rates. And we have done that, and now we have caused a problem. We have hurt the people because we have not done that. We have kept the rates low. I don't want them to go up. Lord have mercy, I don't. But we've kept them low. We did an injustice through the past 25 to 30 years. An injustice has been done, and now we're coming up here, and we've got Mr. Roach standing up here, and he's trying to explain it, but yet I feel like that he's on trial up here. That's the way I feel. And he's a department head. We can meet with them. We don't have to put them on trial just to make ourselves look good. I'm not trying to say you are, but we can call them anytime and go and talk with them. I do it quite regularly. I don't get up here and try to make them look bad.
Ms. Wood, I would like for you to know that I took an hour and a half out of my day today.
I understand
Took my lunch
that.
hour and sat down with them.
I understand
In
that.
hopes that we would not have this presented the way that it was presented.
I understand
I do
that.
not have anything personal against Mr. Rhodes, Mr. Wood, anything. What I do have is a commitment to the people of this city that put me in this city.
You're exactly
And we
right.
ran and we told them we were not going to increase their taxes, and we were going to do everything in
You're
our
right.
power to keep their utility rates.
You're right,
low.
but sometimes you can't make promises that you can't keep. I'm not saying you can't keep that promise, I'm not saying that, but you can't make promises that you can't keep because you don't know what is gonna happen from day to day.
Those raises that were implemented.
They were adjustments.
Those were adjustments. Those were adjustments.
They hit you bottom line.
Those
That's
were
what's happening.
adjustments.
And we did the same thing year after year on those. You just didn't give them. And you get behind, you know. You can't just keep on keeping on. And that's what we want to do right now. We want to get further behind either this part of it or this part over here. You know, you need to fix it. You need to fix it all. How many people are you working down right now? You're one of the department heads that I know have got several openings that you haven't filled.
3 in all departments, 1 within the gates.
And I want to add too, this is something, I put a lot of thought into this. This last election season was tough. If you didn't know that, it was. Okay, everybody in the room, even people that weren't running. What would be worse than having a higher rate on your gas bill? Not having gas at all. Okay, that's the one. All the services that our community offers, they're essential. Okay, and there's not anybody else that's going to come in here and provide that service. So we hire good people that are competent. You think it's easy to find, forget Justin Rhodes personally, but a person that is competent in running the gas system. Much less find than a person that can come here and run it in Lexington, Tennessee. Okay? The system has been here for a long time. It's our one system. Thank goodness it was taken somewhat care of before my time. I want to leave it to where it's going to be in good shape for my kids' time and then their kids' time. Okay? So we have to do our part as board members and as citizens to understand that, yes, we don't, any of us want to pay one any more than we have to. But if that's the only goal is to, okay, I've always paid $1 for this service. By all means, you're going to do whatever you can to not have to pay more than $1 for this service forevermore. That's not reasonable, okay? Because inflation has benefits, everything. The only way you can keep that dollar cost there is to reduce the service that you get. That's the only way. Okay, if everything else goes up, then, and your prices don't go up, then you have to cut something out, okay? And that's up for debate. But I will tell you, if you start believing things, in the future, the system will cost either it'll start failing or it's going to cost our kids a whole lot more money to catch it back up. So again, the question that I want you to ask yourself, anybody that's watching this, is what is worse than having a higher bill? And that is not having service or having bad service. Not to mention, gas can be dangerous. Am I right? I mean, that's something we have to take care of that. You can't just put anybody out there and deal with it the way we got it. If you're going to provide gas, we better be taking care of it because it can be very dangerous. So I'm going to leave it with that.
Gabe, can I ask you, because you were here for the rate study, and I sat 3 hours Friday night and listened to this and went through this PowerPoint. Was it not your understanding that we had did this rate thing so that we knew what to charge, so that we had a little money put back, so that we had room for our infrastructure improvements?
We didn't want to do all the rate increase at one time. So I forgot the gentleman's name, but the proposal I remember was we had a plan over the next several years to start stepping up the expense to catch up. So knowing that we had already lost money this past year, I remember that. And then, Andrew Roach, they talked to us about, yes, during the seasonal parts of the year, when we start selling gas this year, we should start seeing some catch-up. But again, we were trying to phase it in to be considerate to the ratepayer and not hit everybody at one time with a higher rate and the new meter fee and all that stuff at one time. So that's the recollection that I get. But the gentleman that did us the plan was very, very, he was on the stuff. There was no question that we were way behind the 8 ball in raising prices over the years prior.
You don't even have to pay for a study. You can, I've been going over this for a week, and I've been comparing utilities around us, and we're way low, way low. My question is it $3.30 or $3.70 that has already been voted that it's gonna happen in June?
3:30 will happen in June.
So what you're asking is for us to back it up 6 months, so it's $19.80 per service is what you're asking.
That's correct.
Okay.
But what we're gonna do come June if we've lost money again this year?
We'll have to look into this, well, in conjunction with us, I mean, that's inevitable. Like I said, I'm already not replacing the building today.
You also, I'm sorry, but y'all took on part of some of the sediment pond stuff too, correct? Isn't that supposed to save
On the water side, yes. So 2 different funds, 3 departments, 2 different funds. So, like I said, that's water. And of course, we spoke about this, water increase that happened in 24, January and February of 24. That was what promoted the rate study for us to look into this. Because, again, I don't want to make too much of a rate adjustment, but we have to prepare for the future. And that's what these decisions are long ways down the road.
My question still goes back to January and February, why we didn't get a flag raised that said, we're in trouble. We're not, I don't know what we're doing. But somebody should be looking at these financials and raising a flag and saying, we're going the wrong way, we're going the wrong direction.
And again, so in asking for those water rates, we asked for a cost of service study to be done, a rate study, in January and February of 24. All right, so that's right in the middle of our cold months. So we're starting to see the trend of, how we're looking, but we're still right in the middle of a 4-month window that gas actually makes some money.
What is the current cash position?
It's a little $5 million.
So, I mean, we had 1 year loss. I mean, again, you may listen to me talk about like going through our cash, but that was 1 year loss. So, in my opinion, we put off the rate study too long. We did one last year, at the recommendation of Manager Roach, and now we're acting. That's what the prior board had put in place. So, I do understand, Alderman Donald, that we have to address this. We really do. But with that said, this this year during the winter, if we're gonna see where our revenues come in at, we're expecting that we're gonna catch up some. Is that fair to say? So you don't expect, there's no guarantees, don't expect us to have a $300,000 loss like we did last year. But if we implement this, we can go ahead and push forward the meter increase, that's gonna cut out even more of that possibility. Is that fair to say? But we're not looking at doing a rate increase now, only meter, just the.
Well,
I understand, but I'm just saying, that was to keep from, that was to try to spread, to be fair with the ratepayers and who incurred that cost. If you do a rate increase, you know, you're gonna have certain people that are paying a bigger percent, so that was something that was recommended based on other systems throughout the area that the study involved.
well, he doesn't look at other systems, he looks at our system. Because there have been other systems, as Chip's looking at, I mean, there's, we're off quite a bit, and we're trying not to compare ourselves to other systems because we're Lexington, we're not Humboldt, we're not these other systems, we're all different sizes, we're all different customer counts.
So all I'm trying to add is, on this, as I remember, I mean, regardless of what anybody thinks, I'm not here trying to raise everybody's rates on everything, that's not it. But we have to cover the cost. So back then, we thought that was a fair, minimal increase that would start getting us back to it. If we wanted to go and cover that last year, we would have done more at front to do that.
You know, the thing that I found when I listened Friday night, for those listening to me, not once did we address spending. Not once did we address the cost, the operating cost.
But what cost has gone, everything from employees to equipment to projects to everything has gone up. So if everything goes up, and we know that, I don't think anybody here can debate that everything in their life has gone up. It has in mind. It's no different than the system. So if everything goes up, the only option is to cut things enough to cover that increase in overhead expenses, which then you're going to jeopardize the operation of the system, or you have to raise rates. Okay, that's the only two options. So you have to either decrease employees, equipment, services, all that to offset the known increases for everything, or you have to increase rates. So if we're going to decrease, it's not that we're just wildly spending more. We're having to pay more for the same things that we've been paying for generations. That's just the way it is. So you either have to decrease the service, or you have to increase the rates to cover the fixed expenses that have gone up. And it's every business. This is not different than anything else in anybody's life that we do. So the city's no different. There's no pot of gold to cover the increased cost. I mean, our pot of gold is our ratepayers, unfortunately, and our citizens. I'm one of them. You're one of them. Everybody's one of them. But we have to work together to find ways to solve this and stop acting like we're wasting money and putting our employees on trial that are doing their best to try to serve the citizens of our city with all these services. So again, can we be efficient and look at ways of trying to keep the cost down? Absolutely, that's healthy. But to put people to say, but we're talking about being critical about vehicles getting driven home and all these things that's happened. That's a perk for a job. That's a perk for people to do a good job, to be on call, to take care of us. Okay, that's what they're there for. You know, if we want to take that away, that's fine, but that's what we're doing. That's where we're needling everything that they do in their jobs to do their jobs. So we have to be supportive of that, or acknowledge that we're going to have to cut back some of the services that we have all become accustomed to. Some things we can talk about. In my opinion, the gas system and running it is not one of them.
They told me to send me this list Friday on the vehicles. Our utility vehicle acquisition right now is over 1.2 million. We're spending.
Justin, what about on that flat rate that you talked about, or that the mayor recommended going up $3.30? What if you did that for a partial year and then another partial year you backed it back down to $6.70?
It won't work us out of the whole.
I know that it won't, but that could be an option too. Yay or nay?
I would say no. I think just with the, like I said, as far as behind us we are right now, to move that back. To move this up will keep the actual rate for gas unit down. I mean, because we're not looking at it.
And
gonna stop this year. I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the adjustment you're asking for.
Is this the mayor's recommendation you're making a motion?
I'm making the,
Well, what Justin's asking for is what was in.
basically $3.
What was in the state.
Yes.
What we're asking to do is move that from starting in July first, starting in January.
That's your recommendation?
That's my recommendation.
Yes, I'm making that motion.
I'll second.
Chip Clark,
Yes.
Roger Lofton,
Yes.
Tim Rhodes,
No.
Donna Ross,
No.
Jimmy White,
No.
Gabe Williams,
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Next item, right off, 8.11.
Total balance for utilities and garbage is $5,571.38.
How much of that was garbage?
The $1,070.
It was about 4,000.
This is $4,553.
Motion to approve.
Motion approved.
Second.
No second. Call the roll, please.
Roger Lofton,
Yes.
Tim Rhodes,
Yes.
Donna Ross,
Yes.
Jimmy White, Gabe Williams,
Yes.
Sandra Wood.
Yes.
Chip Clark.
Yes.
Use contract with Blacksburg.
And this starts on page 63 of the board packet. So, Brightspeed, they're a telephone cable TV provider. They have services in the South Willow, Selmer, Adamsville, Savannah area, kind of down in there. We have electric services in South Willow. So they have facilities attached to our poles. Currently, they don't have a joint use agreement in place. So back several years ago, it was CenturyLink. CenturyLink was bought out by Lumen. Lumen was bought out by Brightspeed. So through those iterations, we lost a joint use contract with the provider in that area. They're paying their pole attachment fees like they're supposed to, but we don't have anything contractually in writing. So this is what that contract is getting that in place. It's basically the exact same agreement as we do have with Charter, AT&T, PBS. So they made some minor adjustments, mainly timelines on things. So if it was like if they gotta have payment within 30 days, they wanted it 45, and the stuff we're able to work out, nothing major. Ken and I both have reviewed this contract that's ready to sign. We're both good with it, so if the board concurs with Ken and I'd like approval to have that executed with Brightspeed. Or any questions?
I'll make a motion.
Call the roll.
Tim Rhodes,
Yes.
Donna Ross,
Yes.
Jimmy White, Gabe Williams, Sandra Wood,
Yes.
Chip Clark,
Yes.
Roger Lofton.
Yes.
Last item, we'll talk about the last meeting, we split it out between the city business and the utility business. And I'd like to do that, I would like to make sure we do the second Monday of the month, where we have a meeting, and want chairmen for each one of them. Be over, first we have to decide if the board wants to split it out and handle it that way. If you do, I need a motion and a second to vote on that, and then we'll talk about the chairman.
Second Monday and fourth Monday, that means two times a week. I'll make that motion.
Chairman, and thank you for holding that meeting, and I would do the Christmas, I would have anything to do with y'all go on, go do it. The reason is I always thought it worked better when I was segregated utilities over the city, and we did city business, and we separate the two. And when you talk about money, it comes to the point where you realize this money is in utilities, it's not in the city. I mean, we used to do this, which I thought was real good. I think, former Mayor, Mr. Riggs, was the man, and he was the old chairman overall on, and they know to do that, that's what they did. And, I always thought we went back the other way. I'd like to try it if it's all right with y'all, if not, we'll go back the other way, at least I'll try it till the budget year comes up, to see how it goes. To see how it works out, see, get a feel for it, see what the departments think about it, and try to work through some of the issues. There's been a lot of issues come up right now in budget time, because we do got to have some cost stuff going on. It's gonna be tough. The North House, the policies change probably the time we get to budget year, and I think we'll all be involved.
Well, I just want, I mean, I guess my only concern is I want to be sure we don't take the voice away from the department heads. Because, I mean, again, all seven of us have to vote on anything to get something done. So, but for us to be a support for them.
You still vote, Chip? You still vote, that's not.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about just running the meetings over for them to communicate, them being the ones to present the message, talk about things, I think just personally, I think that's the best way, because it's hard for me to articulate, if I'm the fire chairman, or on the daily duties of what they deal with. I mean, they have a personal tie to it, know their jobs a lot better than I do, so, I think it's always helpful to let them be sure they get to speak as much as they have in the past at our meetings.
I think speaking is helpful. I think it's very helpful. I think that was demonstrated in that. I think it was very some frank, open discussions in that, and that's what the board's about. If we don't have frank and open discussions, we won't get things resolved, we won't get it out in the air, and everybody understands what it is. I mean, I understand that sometimes we don't all see eye to eye, but that's the reason we have the board is 7 members, so we can resolve some issues and move on. I've been on board 12 years, I understand deeply how it is, some tough decisions made from time to time, but also I understand, I do truly understand, on one short time I've been a mayor, that it's vital for, that we bring all these issues to the board, we get them worked out, and move on, so we can have a smooth operating government. And again, I'm afraid, again, that we get to the budget year, we got a balanced budget, we don't have to raise no taxes, and we can proceed with everything we need. And I believe the corporations, department heads, if they please, they do, I believe we can do these things. And I look forward to doing that. And I look forward to working with the board members. I do. I believe we can all sit down and discuss it, and try to have a various opinion. There's always two sides to every story. I hate that, but it is. It's just two sides to every story. So that's what we choose to do.
Get back to what Gage said, I believe, Gage, this is the way it was when you first got on the board.
Well, I do remember being assigned, but I don't ever remember having meetings set up. And I'm just going to understand what we're looking to do. That's all of me. I mean, the question I got to you. I was Parks and Rec, is something, you know.
No, I was over gas department. Sandra was over electric.
I was electric. I've been fire, I've been electric. I've been all over the map.
Yes, we didn't have them. I just wondered what the idea was, what we were going to do.
The city, when it did 50%, I know when I was, when I come on the board, and Mayor Giles told me he wanted me to be on the village, and I dealt with Keith Wish, and I think, I was with Keith, they come up with the, Keith come to me and went to do the one-armed bandit trucks, do away with the, pick up garbage and bottles and garbage cans. We bought $210,000 garbage can, $189,000 truck, so we did real good. But he said,